Welcome to the Canine Corner. I'm your host, Christy Wilcox.
And I'm your host, Shay Uval.
So many of you are probably thinking of your New Year's resolutions as we speak, and believe it or not, you and your dog can have similar resolutions. So I teamed up with Shay here, and we thought of some ingenious ideas that you're going to want to do with your dog.
That's right. First off, getting a good trainer. And as that relates to your dog, you want to make sure your dog knows the basic commands, because a well-trained dog is a dog that's welcomed in any atmosphere. New Year's resolution number 2 is grooming, and we're going to work later on with 4Dogs Grooming Academy, and they're going to show us some wonderful tips on grooming. And lastly is exercise. We're going to meet up later with 2 area residents who are going to inspire you with exercising your dog both indoors and outdoors.
So we got together with Charlie from Miniature Schnauzer Friends Rescue, and he's going to show us 7 adorable dogs that you're going to want to adopt.
Thanks, Christy. My name is Charlie, and I'm with Miniature Schnauzer and Friends Rescue. We've been around for about 8 years, and this is our first dog, Elsie. She's a 1.5-year-old female miniature Schnauzer. She was rescued from the shelter, came in as a stray, and she gets along great with other dogs. She's very playful, and she's available for adoption today. Our second dog of the day is Dash. He's a 6-year-old male miniature Schnauzer rescued from the shelter. He's a very sweet, good-natured guy who loves to go for walks, gets along good with other dogs and cats, and I think he'd be really good with kids. He was rescued from the shelter because his owners dumped him because he was blind. We've had him to the vet and had him checked, and other than being blind, he's perfectly healthy. He gets along fine, and he would be available for adoption today. Our next dog is Sadie. She's a 7-year-old black miniature Schnauzer female who was rescued from the shelter. She's an affectionate girl, extremely loyal. Being a little older, she is quiet and well-behaved, but likes long walks in the park. Sadie's a bit of a bigger girl at 22 pounds, and she's available for adoption today. Our next dog is Cash. He's 3 years old. He's a salt and pepper miniature Schnauzer. He was rescued from the shelter. He gets along great with other dogs, and he loves to play. He likes to go to the Strand roller skating, and he's available for adoption today. Our next dog is Jules. She's a 5-year-old female miniature Schnauzer. She was turned in to us because the owners lost her home. Jules is great with other dogs. She loves to play ball, and she knows basic obedience. Jules is approximately 16 pounds, and she's available for adoption today. Our next dog is Booker. He's a 3-year-old black male miniature Schnauzer. He was rescued from the LA County shelter. Booker has unique ears, they call them bat ears, and you can see his emotions right on his face with his ears. Booker gets along great, great with other dogs, that tolerates cats. He's approximately 19 pounds, and he's available for adoption today. Our last dog is Oreo. He's a 1.5-year-old male Schnoodle mix. He's very high energy. He would make a really great agility dog. He can jump 4 foot high. He gets along good with other dogs. He tolerates kids, but he'd be better in a kid-free home. He's approximately 15 pounds, and he's available for adoption today.
For more information about these dogs, please call us at area code 310-618-5762, or you can email us at caninecorner@torranceca.gov. You can also find more information online at www.msfr.org or email them at msfrescue@gmail.com. Thanks, Charlie. Those are some adorable dogs, I have to say. So, Shay, you're going to be showing us some training tips for our New Year's resolution number 1. Is that right?
That is right. What I'm going to be doing is showing you how to get the basic commands out of your dog by doing something that I like to call conducive behavior. And what that is position yourself in such a way that is conducive for the dog to give you the desired behavior.
All right, so stay tuned because we're going to check that out up next.
There are heroes among us. They don't fly or bend steel or ride off into the sunset. They simply volunteer to look after someone else's health by providing comfort, lending a hand, or simply keeping us on track. Everyone's health needs a hero. Who will you look out for?
Find out how you can participate in improving our health. Visit iparticipate.org.
My name's Eddie Metcalf. I enjoy working in my yard, and you know, I can't do that anymore because I'm missing most of my lung. They did a CAT scan of my kidneys. No more kidney stones, that's the good news, but we found a spot on your lung. That frankly scared the hell out of me. I hadn't smoked in 22 years. How could this happen to me? He said, well, you know about radon gas. Well, you know, I heard about it. He said, well, the second leading cause of cancer in America is radon. 22,000 people a year die from this. I literally left the doctor's office, got a test kit, put it in the house, and our result was 39.8. The upper limit is 4. We got to get this fixed. That was on a Monday, and on Wednesday, our mitigation system was up and running. Well, I think everybody should have their house tested. We'd never known we'd still be living there. I could get another tumor from it, but right now it's changing my life.
Welcome back to Canine Corner. We are about to get started on your New Year's resolutions, training, grooming, and exercising. And Shay is going to answer some of your Q&A, but first, she's going to show us some basic training tips. Shay?
Okay, Christy, here we are. We're going to work on a couple of our New Year's resolutions, and that is teaching your dog the basic training. We're here today with Mini Schnauzer Rescue and Charlie, and I'm going to work on a couple of those dogs. So the first thing is, I have Cash here, and I'm going to try to get him to come forward and see if he kind of gets that. Cash, come on. Come on. So what I did, because he didn't initially want to come forward, is I started to back away from him. The reason why I did that is because dogs inherently like to chase. So by backing away, I got him to come forward. We'll see how that works if I just ask him to come. Cash, come on. So he doesn't quite do it, but if I back away, you might see him doing it. Cash, come on. Good boy, good boy, good boy. All right, sit, sit. Good. The way that I'm getting him to sit is I'm putting the treat over his head. And the reason why I'm doing that is because when a dog's forward like this and you put the treat here, as he looks forward, his hind end just comes down and he sits down naturally. Cash, come, come. Cash, come, come, come. Good boy. Sit. There you go. All right, now we're going to work down on the down. And the way that you do that is you put the treat in front of his nose and then you gently guide it down the front of his chest between his legs, and then you slide it in front of him on the grass. This way his body sort of does this. And that's conducive to getting him to lie down. Cash, come, sit. Now what I'm going to do is down the front of his chest between his legs, down, 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 down. Good boy, good boy. That's a good down. That's a good down. And then I gave him a jackpot, a couple extra, just to reward him. Now we'll try it again. Down, 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 down. Good boy, good boy. Good job. All right, we're gonna move on to the next dog. Good boy, good boy. Okay, right now we have Jules. She's 6 years old, and we're gonna work on commands such as paw. What most people do is they take their hand and they try to grab the dog's paw. Well, what ends up happening is a dog, because he wants to think that there might be a treat there, puts his whole head to the paw. So, see when I try to do that, every time I try to grab her paw, she puts her head down. Do you see that? So what I want to do is I want to show her the treat and then sideways just grab the paw. Sit. Paw. Good girl. So what happens is I'm showing her the treat so it's right in front of her face, but then what I'm doing is with my hand I'm showing her so she can see it, and I'm grabbing her paw and she'll give it to me again. Let's try it again. Paw. Good girl. But if I just go for her paw, her face will go down too. Do you see the difference? So again, you want to show them the treat and then gently grab for the paw and she'll give it to you. Good girl. Let's try the other direction. Paw. Good girl. That was wonderful. Adopt her, adopt her. Okay, we now have Oreo. Oreo, as you know, is a little bit excitable, but you can still work with him. So we're gonna do some of the basics and see what he has. Oreo, sit. Good. It's yummy. Now let's see if we can get him to stay. So the way that I do that is I sort of move the treat a little bit. Stay, stay, stay. Good boy. And what that does, by moving it just a little bit, he keeps focused on the treat going, what is she doing? And in that, he's staying, and each time you prolong the distance until you get a solid stay. Let's try that again. Stay. Stay. Good boy. And remember from before, he was really bouncy, so this is really a good skill for him. Oreo. Stay. Stay. Good boy. And each time you go forward and you give him the treat because you don't want him to break it. You don't want him to think that stay just means for a few seconds and then you come forward. So you always go back, sit. You always go back to him to give him the treat. We're gonna try it one more time. Stay. Good boy. And now I'm gonna actually ask him to come forward. Oreo. Stay. Come. Good boy, good boy. Sit. Good. Good boy. He can do it all.
Thanks, Shay. That was really great. So I've searched the park high and low, and I found some dog lovers that have some really great questions for Shay that she's going to answer. So let's find out what they are.
Hi Shay, my name is Evelyn Tooley. I have 7 cats and a dog. They all get along well apart from one. He's 12 years old, and I was wondering if that had anything to do with it.
Hi Evelyn. Wow, that's a lot of animals. I love it. All right, it sounds like if your dog is the one that's not getting along with just one of the cats out of all 7, maybe it's the cat that's not quite getting along with the dog. And you mentioned that your cat's a little bit older. Usually when animals get older, they have a tendency to lose a little bit of their eyesight and their hearing and their mobility. So it's possible that your cat is not feeling like he could get away from the dog if the dog did something pretty quick, and that's probably why your cat's avoiding your dog.
My name is Isma Velasco, and I want to know if you guys got something good for my dog, because I shampoo my dog every month, especially when they fleece, and they got a lot of chemicals. And I want something that's natural, that don't hurt my dog.
Hi Ismael. You talked about shampooing your dog with chemicals in order to get rid of the fleas, and you asked about an alternative natural product. Well, there's a couple things you can do. The first thing you can do is you can buy a dog bed that has cedar in it. Cedar is something that naturally repels ticks and fleas. What you can also do is, next time you're on a walk, if you happen to see a rosemary bush, go ahead and let your dog walk and rub himself up against the rosemary bush, because the rosemary is also a natural tick and flea repellent. And finally, the last thing that you can do is you can buy a product called Natural Defense. It's a powder that you can just powder on your dog. And again, it's made of natural materials, and it's a natural flea and tick remover. And those are 3 alternatives that you can use other than the shampoo that's got chemicals in it.
I have a question. I have an Australian Lab, and it's doing good. It's 7 years old, but it has arthritis. What can I do about that?
Hi Dave, so it sounds like your dog is 7 years old and is showing some signs of arthritis, but good news, there's a couple of things that you can do. First of all, you can buy products that have glucosamine and chondroitin in it. Those are lovely products that'll help with the lubrication of the joints, and you can go ahead and put that directly into your dog's food, or you can buy food that already has that in it. The other thing that you can do is go to your local pharmacy and buy fish oil tabs, omega-3 and 6, and you can put those into his food as well. Not only will it help with the lubrication, it'll help with his coat as well. He'll have a shiny and smooth coat, and you'll be loving the way that your dog moves because he won't be hurting.
Hi Shay, I have a question. I have a puggle and her name is Jen, and I always wondered why she eats her poop.
Hi Eric. What? Poop? Actually, you'd be surprised to know how many dogs really do that. And it could be for a variety of reasons. One of the reasons could be they're not getting everything they need through their dog food. So sometimes dogs will eat their poop. What you can do is make sure you buy a really balanced, quality dog food that has a lot of vitamins and minerals to make sure that your dog is getting everything that it needs. Good luck.
Hi Shay, I have a question. I have a dog that I rescued, and I trained her, and I noticed that when my wife is around and when she gets up to leave the area, my dog will come and take her spot, and she'll stay there and not give up her spot. So I'm wondering, is this an act of jealousy, and if it is, what can I do?
Hi Brian, it definitely sounds like your dog is jealous of your wife. Often what happens is when you meet a dog that's a rescue and you train it, there's an unbelievable level of loyalty that happens. So the second your wife got off the couch and Foxy stepped in her place, she was absolutely displaying some jealousy there. What you want to do in order to avoid that is gently push Foxy off the couch so that she learns that your wife comes first. Your wife must always come first. Trust me.
Thanks, Shay. You offered some really great points on your Q&A. And as for the rescue dogs that you've never worked with, I think it's really great. So maybe some of you folks at home can use some of those great tips. But up next, we're working on New Year's resolution number 2, so stay tuned.
Before I was diagnosed, I was
doing typical stuff.
Basketball for fun, football practice. Mother of 2 young boys.
Took a blood test.
Kayla has leukemia.
Acute leukemia.
Myeloma. Hodgkin's